Today our topic is graphing linear functions. So our central question is, how can I graph linear functions using a table? First off, some vocabulary. A linear equation or function is an equation that creates a line. So it would be a straight line. Anything that creates a straight line is going to be linear. Because if you see, you can see that word line in the word linear. Function form is an equation in the form of y equals or f of x equals. So we worked with this function notation two sections ago, but it can also be in the y equals form, just depending on what notation we're using at the time. First, we're going to practice rewriting in function form. So remember that function form is y equals or f of x equals. So our steps are going to be move x by undoing addition or subtraction, and then isolate y by undoing multiplication or division, because we want it to be y equals. So if we look at our equation, draw the railroad tracks, find your x, so 4x, we want to move it. It's positive 4. There's not a negative sign in front of it. Remember, it's the sign in front of the number that determines if it's positive or negative. To make 0, we would have to do minus 4x. We do minus 4x on both sides. 4x minus 4x is 0. We bring down a negative 2y. That sign in front of the 2 is negative, which means it's a negative number. Equals 8 minus 4x. 8 and 4x are not like terms. One has a letter, one does not, which means we cannot add them together. They have to stay separate. The next piece is to isolate y by undoing multiplication or division. We have negative 2 times y. We need to undo that by dividing by negative 2. We have to divide everything by negative 2. So all 3 numbers need to be divided by negative 2. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1, which leaves us with 1y, equals 8 divided by negative 2 is negative 4. And then negative 4 divided by negative 2 is positive 2x. So really watch your signs on these problems. So y equals negative 4 plus 2x. Next problem. We have negative 9x plus 3y equals 6. First we have to move our x. Move the x to the other side, away from the y. Undo negative 9x with a positive 9x on both sides. Negative 9x plus 9x is 0. We bring down a positive 3y equals 6 plus 9x. They are not like terms. We cannot add them together. They stay separate. Undo multiplying by 3 with divide by 3. Remember, all the terms get divided by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1y. 6 divided by 3 is 2. And 9 divided by 3 is positive 3. So we put a plus 3x. And now it is in function form. Now the reason we need to rewrite in function form is so that we can graph linear equations, which is our next step. So graphing linear equations / functions. So our first step is to rewrite in function form. Remember, function form is y equals or f of x equals. Then our second step is to make a table. Our third step is to plot and connect the points. So our example is graph x plus y equals 4. First step is to rewrite in function form. We need that to be y equals, which means we need to move our x. It is a positive x, so we undo that with a minus x on both sides. X, take away an x, is 0. We bring down y equals 4 minus x. Since y is all by itself, we now are in function form. We can leave it like that. So we'll rewrite this here, y equals 4 minus x. X values, we're going to use 0, 1, and 2 for our x values. Put 0 into our function, we get y equals 4 minus 0. 4 minus 0 is 4, so y equals 4. For 1, y equals 4 minus 1. We're replacing our x values in for x. 4 minus 1 equals 3. Last one, y equals 4 minus 2. We're putting 2 in for x. 4 minus 2 is 2. So now we have coordinate points. We have 0, 4, 1, 3, and 2, 2. We need to plot these and connect these. 0, 4 is 0 on our x-axis, 4 on our y-axis. 1, 3 is 1 on our x-axis and 3 on our y-axis. Then 2, 2 is 2 on our x and 2 on our y. So there we connect the points. We have a nice straight linear function. All right, our next example, we have graph the function f of x equals negative 2x minus 7. F of x equals negative 2x minus 7 is already in function form. So we are going to just put that into our table. Now for this problem, we're going to switch up the numbers we use. We're going to use negative 2, negative 1, and 0. Plug those into our equation. We get f of x equals negative 2. Now we're replacing x with our x value, which is negative 2, and then minus 7. Negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4 minus 7. So we do 4 minus 7, which is negative 3. Next we plug in negative 1 for x. So we do f of negative 1 equals negative 2 times negative 1 minus 7. Negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2 minus 7, which would be negative 5. Last one, we're going to plug in 0 for x, so we're going to solve for f of 0, which is negative 2 times 0 minus 7. Negative 2 times 0 is 0, minus 7 is negative 7. Now we have coordinate points that we can plot. We have x and f of x, which remember is really y. So when we plot our f of x values, they go on our y-axis. So we'd have negative 2, negative 3. We have a negative 1, negative 5. And we have 0 and 7, negative 7. So on our graph, we'll plot negative 2, negative 3, which we go to negative 2 on our x-axis and negative 3 on our y-axis. So it'd be right there. Then we do negative 1, negative 5, which would be negative 1 on our x, negative 5 on our y. Put a point where they meet. And lastly, 0, negative 7. So 0 on our x. We just are on our y-axis, and we go down to negative 7, which would be right there. Connect those points, and they make a nice, pretty straight line. All right, the last piece here is special case lines. So we have two special case lines. Horizontal lines, which go left to right, and vertical lines, which go up and down. So graph y equals 5. Y equals 5. On our graph, where y equals 5 would be right here on our y-axis, y equals 5. And it's going to be a horizontal line through that point, y equals 5. So it goes left to right. Which means the opposite for x equals 5. If we find on our x-axis where x equals 5, which is right there, we're going to draw a vertical line through that point. So it's going to be a vertical line up and down. And then horizontal is left and right. All right, that is all the notes that I have for you today. Thank you for watching this video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel.